Hey, it's Thursday, November 13th, and this is going to be my last time reading to you. Don't worry, Gabby, I'm going to get you in a moment, too. There's so many issues still to get to. So, for those of you at home, this will probably end up being a longer video because I'm going to try to read a whole bunch because, as some kids just realized, whatever I don't read to you becomes homework that you have to read on your own. And I will tell you, today is a day I enjoy because the part I get to read to you is kind of exciting and fun. And then the parts you'll have to read on your own, we'll get to in a moment. But don't worry, I have tons of stuff we're going to get to. Gabby. Crew.
We have a quiz next week.
No.
So, like, after we're done reading, we don't have no more quizzes
Nope.
on this book?
You are correct.
Oh,
Yeah. Let's see, where's it there? This thing. I ended up going to this teacher thing last night. I ran into this other teacher, and it was all exciting. Apparently, it's I think it's like an elementary school teacher.
I actually know her, actually.
Do you know her?
Aiden, you're at my school, bro. How do you know?
She's Elle's mom? I had no idea. Yeah, I ran into Elle's mom last night at this teacher thing, and she was like, say hi to my daughter. And I'm like, you know what's better than saying hi to your daughter? Taking a picture with you and putting on a giant screen in front of everybody. It's the bestest. Elle, aren't parents the greatest?
What about my mom, man?
Oh, well, someday if I run into your mom at a teacher thing, I can get a picture with her too. But this way, Mama Elle can now see the video if she wants to watch it later. And you can just sit there and you can eye flare her and go, Mom! And that makes it the best. Hey, look, it's our last reading day for the book today because we do not have any quizzes next week. Your goal is to read the end of the book this weekend for the test that's on Monday. Because, again, I didn't lie to the smart kids. I've been telling you there's a test next week for a while. There's no quiz next week because there's a test. But, you know, you knew that because you've been paying attention. And then those of you...
wait, what?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Just told me no.
To the quiz.
Yeah, it's the same thing you said.
Oh my gosh, bro.
And then again,
Yeah, for real. Like, you do the same thing in a quiz and in a test. They both get graded.
remember, I don't lie to smart kids.
But so he's dumb.
I didn't say
I'm a
that.
smart kid, so you're not lying to me, right?
Problem solved. And again, Heist Quest, those of you going to the play, is tomorrow. I believe it is almost sold out for the 4:30 show if you're going to go to the play. And let's see, IXLs, I think we're good to go in here. So we do this one. Those kids have the torture, so.
I already did it.
And one kid, you could have sat down because you did do it correctly, so nicely done. And then this kid did finally turn them in. I know, if you hopefully you have next week's turned in already too, since we got those done in class together. That eye flare tells me that's definitely true.
What'd you say?
It was an A-B conversation. And then again, those of you wanting to order shirts, I will send out a reminder to parents tonight. Tomorrow's the day you're going to hopefully turn them in. I know you don't have this class, but you can still walk by and go, yeah, and then hand it to me if you want, and that's up to you. Then, look, checkpoint, end of book this weekend, final test next. I should have put this up on the screen on Wednesday. Wait, this is the same screen I had up on Wednesday. Oh, man, don't you? It's like today. Sorry, Tuesday? Tuesday. I apologize, crew. Again, I'm just so full of mistakes.
Yeah,
Go slow, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Don't attack, crew.
Why can't we attack?
So, again, those of you who may or may not declare that you do not have the ability to read, I've got you. Again, I read the entire book to you, even the epilogue that almost made Jacob pass out. If you go to the thing that says Shadow Club page, again, there's me reading every single chapter to you. Clicky, clicky, me reading.
How long that take?
Those of you who are wanting to do really well on test, not quiz, it is going to be Monday. I have posted one of the practice tests on there. It has a lot of the exact same questions for you. So Monday's test is going to be about 30 questions. It's going to be a little over 50 points. But again, the idea is, before you say you're cooked,
I'm cooked.
if you've been paying attention in class, you are absolutely fine. As long as you've not been paying attention in class, then why would you not be cooked? That's how it works. Mr. Broviak, I've not paid attention to anything and done no work. Am I going to pass? Yeah, that's how school works.
That's needed.
Jacob.
Is it about the whole book or just like lines that we're gonna read?
Just the end.
Why would we just
From where?
What type of question is it?
It's a hopeful one. Do you see the hope in his eyes?
No, I don't.
I did too. Hi, Jez.
I said like, are we gonna stop the book for now, or we're just gonna end it?
I know. Did you hear me answer you earlier?
No.
Exactly. All right. So as we continue on from there, you are going to be turning in your books next week because you're done with them. Because you take tests on Monday, which I keep trying to remind you about. Tuesday, you are going to return book to me. And here's where those of you who have torn up your book, this is where it's going to come back to haunt you. Those of you who have removed covers or ripped it in half or any number of problems along those lines, it is $10 to replace the book, or it's going to cost you 2 B points each day until that happens. Now, for you guys, the bright side is we now have this block schedule. Last year, kids who didn't have their book, it would cost them 10 points a week because you saw me 5 times. You guys only see me 3 times a week. So technically, you could go a long time just not having your book and spending 6 points a week. I don't recommend it, but as long as you have your book next week and it's not torn up, you just turn it back in on Tuesday and you are good to go. Malik.
But this book broke by itself, yo. These books are mad old.
Yep, that's weird because when I gave you the book, it was fine. Because
No, it was not.
it was because I said check your book now because there's any problems. If it helps, we can go back and watch the video. JJ,
How much do we points for that?
that's called a wall. It comes with the building.
No. How much P points for the board? Like to draw on the board.
Correct. Do you see the thing next to it where it says Century Club?
Yeah.
Well, keep looking.
It's only for the eighth graders.
Correct, but it's for 8th graders.
like 200 B points.
Well, how many years in a century?
100.
So how many points do you think you have to have?
100.
There you go. Now, if you are a 7th grader that gets to 200 points, you get to write in little boxes. And I do have a kid who has gotten to that point who is going to start writing.
Yo.
You can see him. He's right. Not in this class. But in my other class. I know you tried.
So you're standing in a circle.
Back to here.
Bro, stop letting me know Raven, bro. You should take away her B point because he keeps on lying.
I don't have to take away her B points. Every time she does, she gets to try to add another day to standing. And you know, see, look at Anaya's face. She would never make that choice. Anaya's like, I will never blame Raymond for my poor choices again. I know. Yeah, I have 2 cameras in here. They're both right here. One on this side you can't see because it's facing these kids, and then one right here next to this little top shelf that's facing you guys. So I have 2 cameras that I can bring up at any time in case you guys make
Have you
poor
ever brought
choices.
that up and they thought I wrote on your board, but I didn't? And I didn't.
That's why I didn't yell at you, did I?
Who did? Yeah, but
So
you
back to you guys as we continue. Are you guys looking at the camera now? For you guys, it's right here. This is the little camera.
I see.
The one that's facing it. The other one you can't see as well. It's a little tiny camera right up here. And it's facing the kids on this side. Yeah. That way it solves all of my problems when kids say Raymond threw an apple across the room and they're completely innocent. We could, that's the same thing I was saying. And then we could have a camera, we could play it in slow motion and go click, 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 and watch it as it leaves not Raymond's hand and flies across the room. Speaking of poor choices, let's talk about poor Vera.
The crazy girl.
Every once in a while, I do enjoy when you guys get to channel your inner teacher and you get to go, what kind of question was that? Realize I deal with those all day long. Did you just throw hands at them?
Come on now, KK.
Yeah. How dare you attack him for not paying attention, having no idea what's going on in class? That's perfectly his right to be clueless.
You know your mom.
Wow. Look at Crew calling you out because he never makes poor choices.
Yeah.
So,
Didn't you sleep in class?
Oh.
No.
Yes.
I got my B points back because I remember what he said.
he did.
He was sleeping.
Totally.
How was
So-
I sleeping? Well, I knew he was
As we continue on, hi kids at home, hopefully you're fully entertained. or, Elle's mom. As we continue on from there, we have the Vera, who was the girl who was apparently, all popular. They cut her brakes, and then she almost died and flew through a window.
No, I think she did that.
She has no brains, apparently, so they couldn't tell. And then we have, this was Tyson and Jared yelling at each other in the hallway because he's trying to confront him. And then we got to our whole phone booth issue, and our little phone booth issue. And then, there we go.
And then we were right past that.
I know, that's as far as we got. I thought I had a picture of it. So, and then there's them yelling at the hallway. That's where we've stopped, which is page 140. Whoa, wait. What's up?
Oh my god.
I'm
Did
sorry.
you not make her book one, bro?
Did you interrupt
Oh
me
my
saying
God.
we're on page 140 to ask what page we're on? Right. Hi, home children. Good luck with life. Page 140, halfway down. Morning, Bryson. Happy day to you too. You guys are something else on the Thursday. Let's see. We're gonna back up a little bit to where it says I dragged him down the hall.
What kind of start is that?
I dragged him down the hall and shoved him into the school phone booth, closing the door behind us. He struggled, and I shook him so hard he began to look like one of those marionettes he had up on his wall. You listen up and you listen good, I said. I know what you've been doing, and you're not going to get away with it. I don't know what you're talking about, he screamed. I put my hand over his mouth so he couldn't scream. He bit it, and I pushed him back so hard that the telephone receiver went flying off the hook. I could hear the dial tone. If you scream one more time, slime ball, I am going to hit you so hard your next of kin will feel it too.
Dang.
That shut him up. I said, I know what you've been doing. I know you're trying to frame us, and I think it really stinks. I think you stink, slime ball. And I'm telling you right now that if there's one more prank, if another unbeatable gets hurt, you are going to have all 7 of us in the club coming down on you so hard, you won't know what hit you. I don't know what you're talking about, he screamed. Shut up! You know exactly what I'm talking about. You told Green about our club, and now you're trying to get us all in trouble. Why did you tell Green anyway? Couldn't you just left well enough alone? All right. I admit, I told Green, but I didn't do anything else. Liar, I said. And I didn't do it to be mean. Leave me alone. Then why did you tell him? He didn't answer me. Why did you tell him? I pushed him. The door to the phone booth flew open, and Tyson flew out, falling to the ground. Why did you tell him? I screamed. He still didn't answer. He got up and ran down the hall as quickly as he could. I watched him run, brimming with anger. I couldn't remember having ever hated anyone as much, not even Austin. Then I began to yell, hoping everyone left in school heard me. Bedwetter! Bedwetter! Tyson pees in his bed! It echoed through the halls, and the sound lingered long after Tyson burst through the school's front doors. Remember, Jared is not a bully.
Totally.
Yeah. If you, shove a kid into a phone booth and then, yell at him and knock him around a couple times and yell bedwetter down the hallway, that's just being a friend.
Yeah. It's just being nice.
Yeah,
No. Oh,
he's a nice
I
guy.
have. I shouldn't have gone to track practice that day. I should have just run home and buried myself in my homework. Or, better yet, buried myself in my pillow and hidden like an ostrich until this whole thing passed over. And that's what I should have done, but I didn't. Instead, I ran out to the field to be with the track team. And that was a mistake, because as everyone knows, bad luck comes in threes. First, on that fateful day, came the fish tank, then Vera's bike, then came the nastiest run-in I ever had with Austin Pace. By the time I arrived at practice, Austin was leading the stretching exercises, and Coach Schuler was nowhere to be seen. I was about 10 minutes late, and it was never good to be late for practice. Well, looky here, said Austin. The gopher finally decided to show up. Hi, Gopher, said Martin Bricker. Kids didn't even say it to be mean anymore. They just said it like it was my name. Give me 20 push-ups for being late, Gopher. I gave him 20. When I was done, Austin had the whole team sit down as he opened a large carton that was on the ground. Here are our team uniforms. Everyone was pleased to hear that. And for a few minutes, I was glad I decided to go to practice that day. Coach Schuler will be out in a minute with the team sweats. Austin opened the box and began to hand them out. Miller, he said, tossing Greg Miller his top and matching shorts. This was the first year that the team actually got new sweats and uniforms that had each kid's name on them. Some said it was because the track team deserved it, but most knew it was because Austin's father had made a big donation to the team. Breaker, yelled Austin, as he tossed Martin's shirt and shorts to him. I waited patiently. He finally got around to mine. Mercer, he said, throwing me my uniform. It felt good to hold the brand new uniform of the team, that smooth feel of the light, colorful material, and that new smell it had. It reminded me of our first meet was coming up soon, and I could hardly wait. My times were getting better, and although they weren't quite as fast as Austin's, they were pretty good. Now, to make it complete, I had a uniform with my name on it. I mean, I felt like a real runner. For a minute, it made me forget about my other troubles. I couldn't wait to try on the shirt. So, although it was a bit chilly, I took off my shirt and was about to try the new one on, when I caught a glimpse of the bright red name written across the back. It said, Gopher. I sat there for a few moments, letting it sink in. Gopher. My team shirt said Gopher. Austin. This better not be mine. I threw it back at his face, waiting to see what he would say. He caught it, looked at it. No, Gopher. Yeah, that's you. He threw it back to me. I clenched my hands into fists, gritted my teeth. It says Gopher? Asked one of the 7th graders. Hey, let me see, let me see. He grabbed it, and I grabbed it back. My name is Mercer, not Gopher. I threw the shirt at Austin's face again. He caught it. Well, didn't you want Gopher on your shirt? I mean, that's how everyone knows you. He threw it back in my face. No, I said. I would never wear it. Never. Oh, well, it's too late. The shirts and sweats have already been made up. That's written on my sweats, too? Of course. That did it. I dropped the shirt and lunged at him. How could he do that? Not only did he humiliate me, but he was trying to force me to humiliate myself by wearing that word on my shirt. I swung my fist, missing his face by less than an inch. I swung again, but by then a dozen hands were on me, holding me back. Let go of me! I screamed. But the team just held me and wouldn't let me get a clear shot at Austin. I struggled and kicked, but they wouldn't let me go. Look at him, somebody yelled. He's fighting like Tyson fights. That only made me struggle harder. Then, out of nowhere, Coach Schuler appeared and pulled me out of the hands of the others, shaking me so hard that my brain rattled. What do you think you are doing, Jared? Stop it! Stop it now! My head hurt from the shakeup, and my arms went limp. This is a team, Jared, and you had better remember that. You don't start fights with your team captain. I don't care what your differences are. You don't fight with him. What? Did you hear me? I said you don't fight with Austin. Is that clear? I stood there, catching my breath. I wouldn't give him as much as a nod. He put Gopher on my uniform. The coach turned to Austin. Austin shrugged. Honest mistake, Austin said. We'll settle this after practice, said Coach. That's when Austin came up to me. Hey, come on now, said Austin, holding out his hand to shake. Let's forget about this whole thing, all right? I looked at his hand. I have to admit, I almost did it. I thought about shaking Austin's hand and eating my pride for the sake of the team. But then he said, come on, be a good gopher. Forget about it. By the way, that quick pause, that's a horrible coach. If you know you have a kid that is struggling and having all the other kids call him a name and then he has a gopher put on there and then you have your team captain and make fun of the kid again in front of everybody and the coach is just like, okay. Sorry, bad coaching. My hand, oh, I got a picture. My hands clenched into fists again. I wouldn't shake his hand after that. I wouldn't even stand in the same field with him. I picked up my backpack, shoved my disgusting gopher shirt into it, and I walked. The coach tried to follow, so I ran. I ran to the edge of the field and kept running, putting as much distance between me and Austin Pace as I could. A moment later, I realized that someone was running with me. I saw the whole thing. It was Cheryl. I think it was awful. Austin's a real creep. Great. The last thing I wanted was for Cheryl to see Austin humiliate me. Jared, called the coach, let's talk about this. But I ignored him. What are you doing here anyway? I came to tell you that Vera's all right. She bumped her head, but she'll be all right. Well, that was good to hear, but it didn't make me feel any better. I ducked through a hole in the fence and into the woods. Cheryl followed. I kept running through the trees, getting scratches on my arms from branches, but still, that anger wouldn't leave. Jared, slow down. I can't keep up with you. I stopped. We were far from the field now. You know what? I hope Tyson was watching and gets Austin next. I hope Tyson pulls a terrible trick so mean Austin never gets over it. That's what I hope. Cheryl looked at me kind of strange. You really want that? I thought for a moment, catching my breath. I don't know what I want. It was true. I didn't know how I felt or what I wanted. I didn't even know who to hate anymore. Austin, Tyson, the Shadow Club, maybe just myself for allowing all this to happen. Hey, said Cheryl, taking my hand. What do you say you come over to my house and we make chocolate shakes like we used to? And I put my normal shirt back on, reluctantly said, okay. She put her arms around my neck and just me. Things will be okay, she said. I wanted to believe it, so just her again. Then, with my arm around her shoulder, we were off to her house. Now, it used to be drinking a chocolate shake would make my problem disappear. But even as I sat there in Cheryl's living room, watching TV, filling up on chocolate shakes, I knew that it would take a whole lot more to solve these problems. So after what Jared just said, guesses as to what's going to happen? Because what's our next chapter called? Any guesses as to who the next victim might be? Uh-oh. See it coming. Now we get to save almost the best for last. Chapter, the next victim. Morning came after a lousy night of nightmares. Dreams about my parents turning into gophers. Dreams about being stepped on by a 60-foot-tall Austin Pace in huge white arrow pens. Dreams about being trapped in a fish tank that was about to explode. Nasty stuff. I woke up with a headache. My parents could tell that something was bugging me, but when they asked what it was, I didn't tell them about the pranks and about Tyson. I simply told them, as I always did, that Austin Pace was the problem. Him again? Said my father before he left for work. Don't worry about him. Austin Paces are a dime a dozen. There's only one Jerry Mercer. That is such a parent thing to say. He smiled and mussed up my hair with his hand, which I used to like before I discovered the importance of, a hairbrush. Don't let him get to you. said my mom, which was easy to say, but hard to live by. Hey, Dad, I said, as he was about to leave. For a split second, I felt like telling both of them everything about the Shadow Club, what we did, how we were being framed, everything. But no, what kind of club president would I be if I told my parents? Forget it. See you tonight. My father left. I went off to school. I could have told them. It could have ended right there. But I guess I just didn't have sense enough to do that. I had to get sense knocked into me the hard way. Just so you know, in the book story, this is the final day. By the time we get to nighttime, everything has come to a conclusion. What do you call the biggest part of the story? That's what we're getting to. As I crossed the field on my way to school that Friday morning, I saw Austin. Oh, my picture again. There. I saw Austin running his morning laps in his aeropeds, as he did every stupid little morning of his stupid little life. I wouldn't look at him. I looked up. I looked down. I looked at the grass, the sky, the bleachers, anything but Austin. And because I was so intent on not looking at him, I ended up tripping over some sharp, jagged rocks sticking out of the ground in the middle of the field. Now I have the rocks. I laid it away. Sharp, jagged rocks. Wonderful, I thought. Now Austin's going to laugh at me for tripping over my own feet. He didn't, though. He just kept on running and ignored me. I got off the field as fast as I could without making it look like I was hurrying. As I entered the school, it began to hit me that there were only two unbeatables left to be hit by Tyson, Austin and Rebecca. And that's when Cheryl came up to me. There you are. I have been looking all over for you. She looked at my hands. What happened to you? I looked down at them. They were scratched up a bit from when I'd fallen in the field. I tripped, that's all. Well, I've been on Tyson patrol. I think the whole club should take shifts watching him. Where is he? I don't know. I haven't seen him yet. That's when something clicked inside my head. Something dark and scary began to come into clear focus. It began slowly. First, I looked at my hands again, at the scratches. Those rocks I had tripped over weren't there the day before. They couldn't have been. What were such sharp rocks doing buried in the middle of the field anyway? Wait, the middle of the field? Oh no. Oh no. Cheryl must have seen it in my eyes. What's the matter? Austin! We have to stop Austin! I turned. Do you guess it was getting ready to happen?
Oh, he's gonna trip and fall.
I turned and ran, sprinting down the hall, knocking down kids and teachers, running at my top speed to the exit. Far behind me, I could hear Cheryl calling my name, but I didn't have time to stop. I may have already been too late. I burst through the double doors, knocking down two kids. Austin! I screamed as I ran. For as well as I knew that those rocks hadn't been there the day before, I also knew that Austin sprinted across the center of the oval field once every single day, barefoot. Everyone knew he did it, but I was the only one who knew about the rocks. Only I could stop him. I ran out from between the bleachers in time to see Austin race across the grass, barefoot, leaving his aeropeds far behind as he headed towards the rocks. Of all of the mixed up feelings inside of me, one thing was certain. I wanted with all of my heart to stop Austin from running through that minefield of razor sharp stones. Austin! Stop! But he wouldn't. He would never stop in the middle of a race. I ran through the grass to try to catch him, but I wasn't fast enough. I just wasn't fast enough. All I could do was watch as he hit the rocks. First, his left foot fell onto them, and it broke his perfect stride. He tried to keep his balance, and that's when his right foot came down on them. He slid and then an instant later he was flying through the air, forced head over heels by the tremendous speed of his own body. I went to him and almost had to turn away from what I saw. It was horrible. Austin had hit the worst of the rocks in the worst of ways. The soles of both of his feet had been gashed open. His left foot seemed twisted into a nasty position. Austin saw them and began to scream, "No! No! My feet! My feet! My feet!" Over and over again. I could see the pain was just beginning to set in. I knelt before him. There was blood everywhere. I didn't know what to do. My feet! My feet! No, no, no! Not my feet! Anything but my feet! I took off my shirt and pressed it against one foot to hold back the bleeding. He yelled, "Ah, my ankle is broken! My ankle's broken! My ankle! My ankle!" I didn't know much about broken ankles, but something definitely did look wrong. His foot was twisted real funny, and whenever I tried to move it, he shrieked. It was beginning to puff up and turn blue. No, not my feet. My shirt began to turn red. "It's all right," I said, even though I knew it wasn't all right. "You'll be fine." Then he looked at me, and I'm pretty sure that was the first time he realized it was me helping him. "Gopher, my feet, my feet." By now, other kids began to gather around, and teachers were running out from the school. "Give me a shirt," I demanded, and 3 kids tossed me their shirts. I pressed one of them to Austin's other foot. "My feet, my feet, my feet. You're going to be all right." "No, no, you don't understand. My father wants me to go to the Olympics. I have to go. He's counting on me. I have to run." Austin's face was getting redder and redder from his tears. "I've been training for years. Next year, I'm getting a private coach. My feet, I can't run if my feet are..." He looked down at him. "No, what will I do? What am I going to do? What am I going to tell my father? He's going to kill me. My ankle, it hurts. He's going to kill me. What am I going to do?" Austin broke down and just cried like a baby until it almost made me cry. In a moment, Mr. Diller, our principal, came and carried Austin to the nurse's office. I was about to follow, but first I ran to the tip of the oval, picked up Austin's arrow pets, and brought them along. Whatever Austin had done to me in the past, whatever humiliation he had ever rubbed my nose in, he didn't deserve this. He was Olympics bound. Running was his life, and it wasn't my life. For me, running was something I could do. I liked doing, but for Austin, it was even more important. His feet would need stitches, but worse than that, his ankle would take months to heal. Who knew how long it would be until he could run again, if ever? Sure, now I was the fastest on the team, but all at once, I didn't care anymore. Believe it or not, I cared more about Austin's feet. I followed Austin and Mr. Diller to the nurse's office and watched as they tended to Austin's feet until they shut the door. Still, I could hear his sobs. I stood there for at least 5 minutes without realizing I had no shirt on. My shirt was ruined now, but there was another shirt in my backpack, my track team Gopher shirt. I put it on and sat outside the door. Soon, Cheryl showed up, and the nurse suggested that I go to class, but I refused. I let Cheryl go. I waited. Finally, the nurse let me in the office to keep Austin company while she called his parents. Inside, it smelled like alcohol and blood. Austin's feet were all wrapped up now. The white gauze was the same color as his arrow peds. They had splinted the broken one. I still held his arrow peds. I placed them on the chair next to him. "Thanks for helping me, Jared," he said, his eyes still a bit wet. I smiled. It was the first time he called me Jared all year. "It's okay, and I'm sorry about what happened." He swallowed. I guess I've been a real snot to you. Yeah, I admit it. It's okay, though. I guess it's because I'm real competitive, you know? My father says it's good to be competitive. I don't know. I guess all these years you were the only one who came close to being as fast as me. It scared me. It was like if one person could come close to beating me, then I wasn't good enough for the Olympics. He looked at me. I just listened. I guess we could have been real great friends if I even gave you the chance. I nodded, and Austin looked at his bandaged feet. His eyes began to tear again. His face turned red. I'm never going to the Olympics now, am I? His tears rolled right off his face and on to the gauze. I sat with him until his mother arrived to take him to the hospital. News had spread to the school at light speed, and by the time I got to class, everyone was buzzing about what had happened to Austin. It didn't take long for people to figure out that it wasn't just an accident. I was so blown away by the whole thing, I didn't even think about looking for Tyson. I was so spaced out by it, I didn't even realize until lunch I was the prime suspect. I didn't do it! I screamed into Mr. Green's face. I'd never screamed into a teacher's face before, but now I couldn't control myself. It was sixth period, just after lunch, and Green had me called out of class to go to his office so he could accuse me of planting those rocks for Austin to fall on. I don't believe you, he said, standing in front of his desk. I swear I didn't. Oh, so it was just a coincidence that you were there when it happened. Right. And it was a coincidence that you had a big fight with Austin yesterday. It wasn't big. And I suppose you're going to tell me you and your club had nothing to do with Vera's bike, or David's trumpet, or Drew's fish tank. Right! Come off it, Jared. He pounded his desk. He was so sure he was right, it scared me. It took me a while, but I found out exactly who was in your club. And you know what? Everyone in your club has a grudge against the very people who have been victims of this terrorism. That's right, I said. We're being framed. Framed? By who? By Tyson McGaw. Green wasn't ready for that. It took a few seconds for it to sink in. And then he said, if you think you are going to foist the blame on Tyson, but it's true. Tyson wouldn't do that. I know he wouldn't. But we have a witness. Who? Ralphie Sherman. He saw Tyson blow up the fish tank. If you ever have to use Ralphie Sherman as your evidence,
You're cooked.
yeah, I would agree. Yeah, said Green. Ralphie Sherman also says that his mother had puppies. Do you expect me to believe a thing Ralphie Sherman says? It's the truth. The fact that even Mr. Green called this kid out. It's the truth. Why don't you bring Tyson in here and accuse him like you're accusing me? Because, said Green, with nasty sarcasm in his voice, Tyson didn't come to school today, Jared. Last I heard, he was being terrorized by a kid who beat him up and chased him out of the school yesterday, screaming bedwetter at the top of his lungs. Any idea who that was, Jared? He looked at me as if I were a criminal. You know, lots of people have spent years helping Tyson overcome a miserable childhood, and what you've done may have destroyed everything we've done to help him.
I think Mr. Green is like Jared was like spying on like Tyson. I think he's like the uncle or something. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think his dad or something.
Not too
Like
far
that,
off.
because how does he know all of it?
Oh, we're gonna find out. They're gonna tell us. Green gave me the evil eye for just a moment longer. Then he sat down, pulled a gold pen out of his shirt, and began to write. I want you to take this note to your 7th period teacher. It's going to excuse you from class. I'm also giving you a list of the classrooms in which each member of the Shadow Club can be found during 7th period. I want you to get them all out of class, bring them to my office so we can settle this once and for all. He handed me the note just as the bell for 7th period rang. And I think a talk with all of your parents tomorrow is in order as well. I turned to leave. You have 10 minutes. I'll be waiting for all of you. If you don't show, you'll be in even deeper trouble. Don't worry. You can trust me. Can I? Of course. So, I have a quick question. If the principal gave you a pass and said, I want you to go collect all of your friends and bring them down here so I can yell at you, what would you do? Just checking. Yeah. I mean, for all of Mr. Green's smartness, this does not seem like the smartest choice to make. Uh-huh.
Where are they gonna go? Why?
Oh, that's fine. 10 minutes later, the Shadow Club was nowhere to be found. Green must have scoured the school for us, but he didn't find us and wouldn't find us that day. This was war now, and if we were going to prove our innocence, we had to treat it like a war. As soon as I had gotten everyone out of class, we split up and snuck out of school, all to meet in 20 minutes at Stonehenge. Green seemed to know an awful lot, and if he knew where Stonehenge was, then we'd all be in for it. So we just had to hope he didn't know. Although it was cold and windy, with thick clouds blowing across the sky, for once, my hands weren't cold. They were hot with anger. Anger at Tyson McGall. If I never did anything else as president of the Shadow Club, I was going to make Tyson pay for what he had done. Chapter, the Inquisition. Do you guys know what an Inquisition is? So Inquisition is an old-timey term. Do you guys know what an interrogation is?
Yeah.
So like what the policemen do when you're like in the little room with the spotlight in your face? An Inquisition was an interrogation where you were allowed to torture people. So the idea of you have them put their hand out on the desk and you take a hammer and you go, are you guilty? And they go, no, and you smack their hand with a hammer. And you keep doing it until they admit that they're guilty. That's an Inquisition. Delaney, you make it sound like this is a bad idea. Because it's a horrible idea. So, guess what's getting ready to happen?
They're gonna beat him up.
So we're going to pause for a second. Chapter. Yeah, I was not recording. The Inquisition. Cheryl and I were the first at Stonehenge since we ran all...
No, we didn't. They always trying to help.
Oh, you figured it out. Since we ran all the way, one by one, the rest began to trickle in. Hi. Darren, Abby, Jason, and then OP. Only Randall didn't show, and that made us worry. Generally speaking, Randall was the type of kid who might decide to go play video games instead, but maybe not. Maybe he got caught. Maybe he was sitting in Green's office right now. Maybe he'd talk and tell Green where Stonehenge was. Would Randall give us away? I asked Cheryl. Only if Green grants him immunity, was her response. Yeah, that sounded like Randall. He'd give us all away as long as he didn't get in trouble. There was no fire in Stonehenge today. No fun stories. No good times. There was just 6 kids standing, pacing, not sure of what their next move was. What do we do now? Asked Darren. We're all on Green's most wanted list. We're all in trouble. We are going to be suspended from school. Don't say that. It's true, said Abby. Darren's right. Yeah. So what do we do now, Mr. and Mrs. Club President? Huh? I'm scared, said Jason. I can't be suspended. Heck, this is the first time I've even cut class. I can't afford to be suspended either. That kind of thing stays on your record forever, said OP. So what do we do, Jared? Yeah, what do we do? There's only one thing we can do. We have to get Tyson. The only way we can clear ourselves is to make Tyson confess. I say we take the little creep and give him a taste of his own medicine, said Eddie. Most everyone agreed. We don't even have to do that. Making him confess is all we have to do. Yeah, but we want revenge! They all agreed on that. I have to admit, I wanted revenge too. Revenge for what he had done to my good friend, Austin Pace. Well, you make it sound like that's a strange comment. Him and Austin go way back.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they go.
I know.
Way back to the-
Keep that in mind with our next couple choices he makes. He'll be home with his aunt and uncle, or whatever they are. Our
Mr.
best
Green.
chance is to tell them what Tyson's done. Unless they're as bad as Tyson, they'll believe us, and Tyson will be forced to confess. What if they don't believe us? What if they are axe murderers like Ralphie Sherman says? Shut up about that, okay? They'll believe us. They have to. I looked at my watch. If we're gonna do it, we have to go now. It's almost 3 o'clock. Green will be looking for us. Let's go. I began to lead the way. Wait a minute. Randall won't be able to find us. Where could he have gone? With Randall? There's no telling. You want to wait for him? No. But I guess I have to. When you see Tyson, give him a good punch for me, okay?
What?
I turned and led the other 4 to Tyson's lighthouse. We didn't talk much as we crossed through the woods and then the grassy field toward the lighthouse. It was getting colder, but it didn't bother me. Dark clouds were looming out over the ocean, but they were nothing compared to the storm clouds within each of our minds as we approached Tyson's front door. As we got closer, I noticed that there was no car parked beside the house, as there had been the night I'd spied on Tyson. Wait here, I said, and keeping low, I snuck around the house, looking into every window, leaving Tyson's window for last. Tyson was alone. Tyson was alone in the house, sitting at his desk, working on those ridiculous marionettes. This was perfect. Perfect. It was even better than I had hoped for. I ran around to the living room window, which was open just a crack, carefully took off the screen, quietly worked the window wide open, and then got the others. Mr. Broviak, isn't that breaking and entering? Yes. Isn't that a felony crime?
Yes.
Yes. Could they get really... Yes. Are they about to do something even worse?
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
In
bro,
a
they're gonna.
moment, breaking and entering becomes the least of their issues.
Yeah.
Hello, Tyson. Tyson jumped about a mile when he heard me, sending the scissors and string in his hands flying across the room. His eyes went as wide as his beady little eyes could get. What a shocker that must have been, to see the 5 of us standing there, right at the threshold of his bedroom. Get up, I said calmly. Tyson looked at me, still shocked to see us there. I said get up! Get out of my house, he said weakly. I went up to him and pulled him out of his chair by his shirt, hearing it rip slightly. I'll call the police. You'll be in trouble. I ignored him. I like your room, Tyson. Nice view of the ocean you got here, isn't it? But that's not what I smell, Tyson. What is it? You better shut up. Hey, Darren, why don't you take the sheets off his bed? I think that's where the smell's coming from. Darren did what he was told and pulled back the blanket. The sheet underneath was clean. But when he pulled that away, there lay Tyson's rubber sheet for everyone to see. Tyson struggled, and I put him into a full Nelson. Wow, said Jason. You mean Tyson pees in his bed? Oh, didn't you know that? He does it every night. It's a wonder he doesn't have to wear diapers. Tyson struggled, and I made the Nelson even tighter, pushing down on his head until he could barely move. Did you know, Tyson, that Austin broke his ankle and he may never run again? I forced the Nelson even tighter. I just thought you should know. Yeah, Bruno.
The full Nelson's like a move that can break your neck, right?
You are correct. I hate you! He screamed, I hate you! Yeah, the feeling's mutual.
Oh no.
You stupid gopher! He said.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. He's just making him angrier. Nothing bad comes from that.
He's our full Nelson.
He said, and then something in my mind snapped. It was as if suddenly it wasn't me anymore. I was someone else. Something else. Something evil. It was like I was possessed. I jerked Tyson around and took him out through the front door. He struggled all the way, kicking, knocking down lamps, leaving black footprints on the wall. When I got him outside, I let him go, only to slug him full force in the face. He reeled and grunted, and I popped him one in the eye, then gave him an uppercut to the chin. Yeah, this is a full-on beating we're going into now. I couldn't stop. I was out of control. Then the rest of the club grabbed him and held him back so he couldn't move. He couldn't even defend himself. And still, I punched away at him, thinking about Austin and Vera and Drew and the rest. So, the other Shadow Club members are holding Tyson's arms back while Jared is just sitting there just beating the crap out of him.
Does it get worse from here?
Oh yeah, this is just the beginning. Yeah, just like that. Just like tapping into the knees. I kept delivering punches to his stomach as he tried to kick me away. Do I get a turn? Asked Jason. How about me? Asked Abby. I gotta do it for Vera. Yeah, because Abby and Vera are close friends.
Yeah, totally.
Finally, I stopped. Are you going to confess? I growled at him. And in his pain, he looked at me and said, I don't confess to anything. I stepped right up to him, grabbing his shirt again, making sure I tugged it hard enough to rip it. And then, well, I'll never forget what I did next. I'll never believe it either. It will live on in my own nightmares. I spat at him, just like Randall had done. I spat at Tyson. I'm not proud of it. I'm pretty ashamed of it. Like, all of it. If you must know, that's what I did. Then I let go of him, and the club grabbed him, holding him back. That dark cloud that had been in my mind was now in my blood, filling up my whole body. It was hatred, evil hatred, mixed with power. And together, these two things are more dangerous than nitroglycerin. It filled me and took me over. At that moment, none of us were the kids we had been before. We were monsters filled with one desire: destroy Tyson McGaw. I stood there like Darth Vader, breathing the power of club leader. I had Tyson McGaw in the palm of my hand, and all I could think to do with him was crush him, like I would crush a soda can. Take him to Stonehenge, I said. Yeah, to Stonehenge, echoed the rest. While they carried Tyson away, I called Jason over. Hey, go get all of his puppets, tear down that clothesline and bring it along. And don't forget to bring the scissors.
Is this bowling? This is bowling.
No, this is not bullying. He's just helping him out.
He's getting
This is attempted murder.
Not yet, but we're getting there.
Who's the big one?
Right now, we're just doing kidnapping.
That's not even better.
And
Why is Cheryl so
and
big?
torture.
That's not better.
I didn't say it was better.
Well, what if Tyson didn't do it?
Then, if Tyson's innocent, then this is really bad.
Mr. Movie, I think Cheryl did it.
Everybody gets his name.
Yes, it is. It is a long list of things that we should probably not be doing.
Yes, indefinitely.
And as Brady points out, what if on the off chance Tyson is innocent?
He is. Cheryl did it.
He would have admitted it by now.
I'm assuming Cheryl did it. Cheryl did it.
Almost. No. Yeah, you're right. We only have 2 minutes left, so we'll stop there. We got to 165.
165.
165.
Why not 167?
I know, but we've gotten 2 more pages. Wait, what's on page 167? Oh, yeah, we were close too. I mean, I know what happens.
Yeah, so do I.
Oh, by the way, if you turn to page 169, the chapter title is What Happened to Randall?
Yeah, what?
And we get to find out what happened to Randall. Randall did not get caught. Randall did something else.
He snitched.
See you, Mr. Baker.